Well, this video is going to be real interesting because apparently today we got to actually debate what specifically is a microtransaction. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today was actually the big reveal event of Borderlands 3. They decided to fly in a bunch of different streamers and YouTubers to play the game, talk about it, and just basically get the entire internet hyped out of their minds for it. And to me, it absolutely worked. This is by far one of my most hyped games of the entire year, and watching the live stream was just so full of really juicy details that I am just so eager to sit down and try for myself. But something that came out simultaneously was actually some news from Randy Pitchford. So this guy is obviously the head of Gearbox and the guy who's kind of behind most of their major projects, including stuff like Borderlands. Well, something he said while he was on stage that got some uproarious applause is that there will not be any microtransactions in the game. Now, this sounds like something that's so basic, but in this day and age, that is something that is literally celebrated. He said that you'll just be able to play the game and have access to everything right from the start. But what's a little bit confusing is this isn't fully true because you actually can buy cosmetics. Now, this is where the debate comes in. For most of us, if you can buy stuff with real money on top of the price of the game, that is a microtransaction. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $5 or those $20 skins that were unlockable in Anthem, they are still microtransactions. But Randy Pitchford specifically disagrees with this. Now, the reason I find this all interesting is because Randy's trying to say that as long as it doesn't affect gameplay, it's not really a microtransaction, and instead it's just an optional fee. But a lot of people are actually sort of calling him out and saying specifically that Randy is lying and knows about it. Now, the reason people are calling him a liar, which is a pretty serious accusation, is because, unfortunately, Randy has actually been proven to have lied in the past in the court of law. Now, some of you may not remember this because it was a while ago, but there was actually a very hyped up and very interesting looking Aliens game back in the day called Aliens Colonial Marines. In fact, I actually have a copy of it right here. Now, what's interesting is I purchased this game for 59 cents. Now, I bet you're wondering how the heck I got a Gearbox game for less than $1, and it's because this game was completely filled with deceit. There were a series of trailers that showed adaptive AI, crazy aliens popping out of vents, eating faces. It was something that was just so exciting to see. I mean, even looking at the box art now actually gets me excited all over again, but it turns out that this was completely based on nonsense. And in fact, every bit of the trailers was not in the final game, and it was proven in the court of law that Randy Pitchford lied about it. This lawsuit actually ended up costing them millions of dollars, and they even had to remove all the trailers off YouTube in certain countries because false advertising is a serious crime in other nations. So some people are, of course, a little bit skeptical anytime Randy Pitchford makes giant promises at this point because they realize that he has made some pretty big mistakes in the past. So what really is a microtransaction? To me, anything that costs you money is a microtransaction. It's just one of those things where, to me, it's an A to B thing. It doesn't have to necessarily be a pay-to-win mechanic. If you are charging me for something and it costs money on top of the price of the game, that, my friend, is a microtransaction. Now, here's the thing with all this that's kind of the extra layer of added drama on top, which is that Randy isn't just sitting back and watching people talk about his microtransactions. He is actively out there on Twitter trying to yell at anybody who talks about it. Like, one of the things that happened today was actually Game Informer wrote a very straightforward, very cut and dry piece about the microtransactions. It was basically just saying, hey, Randy Pitchford is on stage saying there won't be any paid additional content. There will be. You'll be able to buy skins, you'll be able to buy costumes, you'll be able to buy makeup and stuff like that. So they were basically just warning people. It was not a sensationalized piece, it wasn't a hit piece, it was literally just an article saying, hey, you should know this before you pre-order, and Randy was just so angry about that he decided to tweet some pretty aggressive language at them. Come on, guys, what a crappy clickbait headline. Literally seconds before I said that, I made it very clear that we're going to do more cosmetic stuff like we did in Borderlands 2. You know what I'm talking about. Premium currency and loot box kind of stuff not being in our game. Why you guys would me like this is beyond me. Thanks a lot. Now this, in my opinion, is a dude who is angry as hell. He is rage moding right there, and it's kind of crazy to me because they're not going across the boundaries, they're not stepping over their lines, they're literally just saying, hey, this is messed up. Now, I just want to say, I support Borderlands 3. I'm definitely going to buy it, I'm definitely going to review it, and I'm definitely excited for their later DLC. I actually love all of Gearbox's downloadable content. When they make updates and patches and expansions, those are glorious. They're seriously some of the best things about their games. Cosmetics and loot crates and microtransactions and that kind of stuff, that is where I have a very serious problem. And it makes me think that maybe somebody even higher up at Gearbox or their parent company are controlling this. So I decided to reach out to one of my main sources, Doug Money, to see what's going on. Maybe he could shine some light on the situation as to why Randy is acting so erratically. Howdy folks, I'm Doug Money, and as you may have noticed, I am very sweaty today, and it's because I have just been counting those sweet, sweet V-Bucks until the cows come home. Let me tell you straight up, there is nothing that makes more cash these days than microtransactions, and even better is if you lie about it. I've definitely found that when it comes to trying to trick people, if you tell them you're not selling them a product, they're more likely to buy it. It sounds so crazy, but the cell phone market absolutely mastered it. That's part of the reason that all those terrible cell phone games you absolutely hate try and put those stupid little mischievous timers in there, because then it doesn't feel like you're paying and being tricked. Instead, it feels like you're just accessing the content you already enjoy. This is what our master strategy is with Borderlands 3. We want to make sure you're shooting and looting and having a grand old time and playing co-op and enjoying all of our services on the Epic Game Store, but additionally, you will buy every single costume. In fact, we decided to put all of our very best artists trying to drop the coolest costumes. That way you'll just want to continually be pressured into buying the sweetest costumes. Are all the outfits going to be behind paywalls? Is just some of it? Who knows? But as Doug Money, I guarantee you we're going to try and monetize the heck out of every single little drop of this. Will you have fun? Yes. Will you be able to collect 1,000,000 guns? Yes. Will you be buying this sweet, sweet blue shirt from Vault-Tec? Well, if I can sell it to you, I guarantee I'll try to, because I am Doug Money, the head of Gearbox, secretly. Don't tell Randy Pitchford, he's going to be mad. Alright, I gotta get out of here before DreamcastGuy beats me up. That guy hates when I shows up, but he secretly likes it. He doesn't know it, but we're actually cousins. I don't know why I keep letting that guy in my house. To be quite frankly, he smells like nacho cheese, and it's absolutely awful. But see, this is kind of the thing with all this, is that I feel like I want games to be the biggest package possible. I've said this in previous videos, but it comes even more irksome when it comes to fantastic games. I honestly think that Borderlands 3 has the potential to easily be Game of the Year. I mean, it is straight up a contender without me even having played it, just because it's probably going to provide hours and hours and hours and hours of great content. And really, anything that has really good co-op to me is an exceptional, exceptional experience. I love multiplayer, and I love a game like this that's trying to be fun with the least amount of strings attached. But that's kind of why I'm extra cautious about this. I like Randy Pitchford. He seems like a kind of cool dude if you ignore some of the weird, creepy stuff involving USB sticks and magic tricks. But still, I think that he's a guy who needs to be kept closely guarded. You need to keep an eye on this. This project's probably going to be good, but I'm just saying, pre-order it if you want to pre-order it. I'm not going to actually do a thing where I tell you just don't pre-order it. Instead, I'm going to say watch the news carefully. Watch the updates. Follow their Twitter account. Keep a close eye on this, because I feel like if they cross over the bounds, we need to voice our opinion and say, hey, that is too far. But so far, this does seem to be a very big and very promising experience, and I guarantee you I'm going to be the very first in line to try it. But what do you think? What do you consider a microtransaction? Does it have to be a straight up loot crate? Can it just be something very optional? Or is it something that's cosmetics that are okay? To me, if you're selling it to me, it better be in the package or I'm upset. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I'm sorry I'm so sweaty in this video. I actually just carried a freaking couch up 4 flights of stairs. So I'm tired, but I really want to film this video just because this topic is so crazy. I really do appreciate it. You guys rock. I know I'm uploading this video super late in the day, but seriously, all the likes, they mean a lot. You guys, bye! Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.